take our time because you can edit it. Hey there, welcome to The Porch. I'm Sylvia Four, Realtor Coldwell Banker, and this is
Linda Hollington from Coldwell Banker Realty.
And we're just going to take a few minutes and discuss buyers and what your issues are in buying a home. Buying a home is one of the biggest transactions and financial decisions you may possibly make in your lifetime. So every financial real estate transaction is a little different. And that's where we come in to guide you through it.
That's right. And we hope that we're able to answer some of your questions here today. That's the purpose of this. It's a very exciting time for buyers. They're very excited. They've decided to move. They're anxious to get to a new place. They always have their dreams, and we're here to help with that. At the same time, though, there's a lot of anxious thoughts. It's a big commitment. Sometimes it's the first time, and it's a huge responsibility. And then you add on to that the process that you're going to be going through of looking and everything that goes with it. That's what we're going to kind of talk through today. That just adds more anxiety. And there's already a lot of stress in your life with jobs, maybe kids, maybe more than one job. That it's agents like us that can help relieve some of that stress. We want you to have a pleasurable experience. We don't want you to think, oh my gosh, this is horrible. We want it to be a pleasurable experience, and we're going to do our very best to help you with that.
All right.
We're back with the buyers again. We're going to talk about we're at our interview possibly, and we're talking about the steps we're going to be taking to find your dream house here. All excited. But the first big question is, how much can you afford? So maybe even before we have this meeting, you will have contacted a lender, preferably more than one lender, to get some comparisons on that, even if they're online, so that you can compare the offers that you're getting. And possibly, they're competing with competitors too. They want your business, so keep that in mind when you talk to them. But we don't want to take you out looking at properties until you've got that pre-approval, especially right now, because the houses are going so fast. If you see and you say, this is it, that means we got to act today, right now, and you have to have that letter in hand. So we want to get that clicked off the top of the list. If you don't, you work on down. If you don't work with a realtor that does this, it's just going to add anxiety when you do put that offer in, trying to get that letter, and someone else could get the house before you get to it. It's just going to add more anxiety to it. So we want to click that. We want to click that off first. You need to find a lender that provides choices for you. There's 3 major loans, but there's a lot of loans. So sometimes you want to talk to banks and mortgage companies, because mortgage companies have access to more programs. The banks have quite a few, and they don't always offer you those. You have to really kind of press them for that to get them to show it to you. You'll spend some time gathering all your information. They're going to want to know how much you make and how much you spend, what you own, all those types of things. And they'll be asking you a lot of questions. They'll be asking you for information. Before you start gathering all that up, decide on the lender, talk to them about an appointment, and ask them, what do I need to bring? Because in this day and age, they can find a lot more information about you than it used to be possible. So you may not have to bring as much as it used to be. So each lender's different. So you need to talk to each one of them and say, what do I need to bring to the table here? And even after they're there may be other questions they have. And as agents, we're able to answer some of those questions for you, and to work with the lenders as well to help you get the best experience there, as well as trying to find your house. So now we're ready to look. Okay, so we're ready to look. Congratulations, you have your pre-approval letter in your hand. And from our first meeting, we already started looking online. You have been set up to look through properties in the area that you want, the type of house that you want. But now we know what price range we want for sure. So we can start to narrow that search into those different, into those different wants that you have. And we know what price range to look. So that's extremely important. We need to keep in mind, especially in this market, what your must-haves are. We have very low inventory. You may not see exactly everything that you'd like to have, but don't you worry. We will find the house that you say, this is it. This is the one I want. So we just have to be patient and keep looking. If we don't find it, and if we do find it, then we can start the process and we can get to contract for there. The showings are pretty much the same. We make appointments, we show up, we walk through the house, and do not be afraid to ask any question. Mm-hmm. There is no question that should be missed when you're walking through a house. So keep that in mind too, and we'll remind you of all that. And so we will move on now.
To crossing the finish line.
Yeah,
By the way, that was Lenny. He's the best UPS driver around.
Yeah, Lenny kind of threw me off task there.
No, I'm
So,
sorry.
but
that's
I'm
the
back
joy
now.
of home ownership.
That's right.
Okay, but getting to the finish line.
Yeah, we'll proceed to go walking through the process.
So here we are. We're getting to the finish line. Finally, it just went away again. Oh my goodness! All right. Yeah, I just made a lot of changes. So, getting to the finish line, you need to get the home inspection first. Let's call that our first hurdle. And you need to hire a professional. You will pay for the inspection at the time of inspection. And this is to just uncover any possible problems with the structure, the mechanical issues, or even the construction of the home. Now, after the inspection, you're going to get a report. And there usually are some issues, not necessarily something that needs to negate the whole purchase, but there are issues that you may need to be aware of. And sometimes there are major issues. So after the inspection, you can, number one, either get out of the contract and because of major issues that you can't possibly deal with. Number two, you could renegotiate the price of the contract to cover some necessary repairs. And number three, you could also negotiate to have the seller possibly do the repairs before the purchase of the home. Next thing that we would move on to would be to have a survey done. Now this is required by most lenders, so they are going to order it, but you will pay for it at the time that it is ordered. And this will help the bank know whether there are any issues or any clouds or any problems on the title as far as boundaries and things like that. So it has to be done. They will get back with the report, and as long as everything is fine, we will push this on to the title company, which will be the next step. But before we go on, I just want to remind you that after the inspection, you will get a summary inspection, which you will use to shop around for home insurance, because that's another thing the bank is going to require you to have, is insurance for this home. And you need the inspection or the summary inspection, and you're going to shop around and get the best price for your hopefully new home. And that way you will give that information to the lender. So now we're going to take you to the next step, which was I at this, you did the survey, we're at the title. So the title company is now going to take a look at all the documents and everything and start preparing and doing research on the actual chain of title for this home. Make sure there aren't any clouds on the title. This is something that is required by the lender and is protecting you as well. You will need to purchase title insurance. It's a one-time payment, and it protects you and all your heirs as long as you own that home against any defects on the title that may arise that were not uncovered in all the research and searching. So another thing that the bank will do, and this is getting towards the end now, we're almost there, folks. The other thing the bank will do is hire an appraiser which you will be charged for in the buyer's charges at the end at closing. The appraiser will come in and make sure that your home that you're wanting to buy is a good value for you and for also the lender who is giving you the mortgage. So once all of those hurdles have been covered and jumped across, it is almost time to get to the closing table so that you can cross that finish line. The last thing on the list is to go to the final walkthrough. It can be done the night before, maybe the morning of closing. You need to walk through. It's just a quick walkthrough and make sure that the whole house, the home, is in the same order and looks the same as the date that you both signed the contract, the sellers and the buyers, and executed the contract. And then it's time to finish the race. Enjoy. You're going to be handed the keys after you sign and sign and sign what seems to be an endless array of documents. And then you get to have the full joy of ownership of a home. And that's it.
Well, congratulations
That's
when you
right.
get to that point. And just remember, there's always hurdles. It doesn't matter what market you're in. This market has its hurdles. The next market will have their hurdles.
And
That's-
sometimes that's why it's good to have a realtor, because we help to center you and ground you and get you through.
And most likely we've been through the next market already. So this one is historically low, though. So
Yeah.
this is a little bit different for all of us to work with. And on that note, I do have some on the market trends. I do see some things that might be encouraging. As far, first of all, our residential properties are up a few properties from last week. We had 8 some, that's like 30 some properties more a week ago that are active. That's all of the residential, including condos, townhouses, single homes, everything. That's a very low number, but it is going up.
That's for the county.
Yeah, that's so we have to be optimistic here. The other thing that I was optimistic about is kind of a sad thing, but is short sale closings. They're up 33%, and the median sales price of the house was $220,000. So that could give people an opportunity for starter homes in the short sale area if those are coming up. It's sad that people are going to short sales because that's usually the last thing before foreclosure, but it also provides opportunities for other people to find homes. And they're not necessarily in any disarray, they just are being short sales. And that said, that's pretty much the process. There's a lot of little details in between, a lot of conversations, a lot of text, a lot of in between there. But you get there. You find it, you get there, you get closed, you get the keys, and we celebrate.
And every real estate transaction is unique.
Yes. There's none that are exactly the same. They're all different. And that's what we're here for. So we're closing for today on the porch. We would ask you to go to Facebook and leave us messages or questions or ideas, things you'd like to hear. We do have an email address. It's theporch@321 Gmail. You leave us questions, we can answer privately, and we'd just love to hear from you. So that's it from the porch today. We'll see you again next time.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for stopping by. Goodbye.